Hi, welcome to Books with Lexi. I'm so excited because in this video I'm going to be reading horror books with covers that I love. I feel like I talk about covers that I'm obsessed with a lot. Like I'm always talking about the cover for Sundial by Katrina Ward or Just Like Mother by Anne Heltzel. So I figured I would do a video where I read some books where I love the cover to see if I also love the book. I have three that I will be reading in this video. The first one is Mayfly by CJ Lead. This cover is so weird with like the teeth in the corner and like the eyeball licking. And like also it's kind of like a graphic eyeball. It's very interesting. It's a weird vibe and I kind of love it. And by kind of, I mean I definitely do. Then I have We Can Never Leave This Place by Eric LaRocca. I love that this one looks like art. It looks like it was a painting. This one can be deemed as something else, but I think it's just a very interesting cover. I like the colors on it, and I just really like that it looks like a painting. And then the third one I will be reading is Head Like a Hole by Andrew Van Way. This one is just so weird. There are so many things on here that I love, like the tentacles coming out of the skull and the like mushrooms and how the head looks like it's turning into some sort of like mushroom fungus thing. Very cool. If you cannot tell, I generally like really weird covers. I don't know why, but I'm just very drawn to them. I like covers that are more interesting, have fun colors, have a distinct style, or are just like generally weird. I'm so excited to read all of these books. I will be starting with Mayfly, so let's get into it. I am a third into Mayfly, and this, let me tell you what it's about first. So we are following Maeve, and she is a princess at a Disney-esque amusement park. She works at Disney. She is Elsa. That is her job. She's a character, and she's really good at it. She loves it. Like, people write in to say how good she is at her job. Her and her friend who plays Anna, well, they don't say that, but yeah, so she loves working at Disney, and also she has a dark side. So we're just watching her kind of accept who she is and exist. She's just kind of doing her thing, and she's doing her thing. There is a lot of sexual content in here, which I am not bothered by, but I don't really want or need it there, but like I guess it makes sense with her as a character. So speaking of her as a character, the book is very much her internal monologue, and that is what is driving the book. There's not a whole lot happening as of this point, and I knew that was going to be the case going in. And I will say I'm liking it more than I typically like books that are this character thought driven books. There have been some things that have happened that like keep me interested enough. I do like Maeve as a character, and I think I'm going to like this more than I typically like books like this, but I don't think it's going to be a new favorite. So that's pretty much it. The thing that happened, like I was like, oh, okay. So like there are moments that I'm really, really liking, and then generally I'm kind of bored. So that's a third in. I don't anticipate the style to change, which would be fine if the plot picks up more. So right now it's feeling like probably 3 to 4 in that range. So like 3, 3.5, 4, one of those. But the 4 is if the plot picks up like significantly. So really 3 to 3.5. I'm gonna read some more, and I will check back in. I have made it 2/3 into Mayfly, and I am liking this, but it's not a favorite. I think that like generally I'm kind of bored by it. I do like Maeve as a character, I think, but these are just not my favorite kinds of stories. There has been one moment so far that I'm like, but generally I am not like super into her story. I don't care about her job as a Disney princess and all of that. And I also don't care about the relationship that has started to happen either. It's just not my favorite situation. So it's fine, but it's feeling like probably 3 stars. I am enjoying it more than I typically enjoy stories like this. Hi. But now I've cat hair on me. But I don't know if a book that is like so in a character's head where like the plot is generally their thoughts is ever going to be, well, that's not true. Every once in a while, but like generally it's not going to be my favorite thing. And that is the case with this one. So I hope it picks up more because I need more of the horror stuff to happen. But as of right now, it's feeling like 3 stars. I have finished Mayfly and I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. I think the ending picked up and there were some moments that I was more interested in, but I wish that a lot of the stuff was interspersed more throughout the book. I just think that not enough happened that I was interested in, and Maeve as a character was not enough to carry it for me. There's an eyeball scene, which there's on the cover too, which was probably my favorite part of the book besides the thing at the beginning that I was talking about that happened. But overall, this was just fine. A few moments that I really, really liked, and then a lot that I was just like very meh about. I would probably read from this author again in the future because of those moments that I really liked, but I hope that all of the books are not this internal monologue character driven. I also did not like the relationship in here. I guess that it moved the story along a little bit outside of the character's thoughts, but also I don't need romance in my horror. I wish I had more to say, but I just really don't. I think this was fine. It did go better for me than a lot of books that are similar to this, but not really a favorite. I do still love the cover, and I am desperately sad that I didn't love it enough to get a copy. It's just so disturbing and weird and fun, but I'm not going to buy it just for the cover after I didn't love it. So that is it for Mayfly. Next is We Can Never Leave This Place. I have made it halfway into We Can Never Leave This Place by Eric LaRocca. I figured that halfway through would be good considering this is just about 100 pages. So we are following our main character, Mara, and they live in this world where there's war happening. It's not really specified what it is, but they pretty much stay in their apartment to stay safe if they leave. There's like people killing people outside, like military stuff. There's bombs going on. And her father decides to leave the house. And at the very, very beginning, we are seeing that her father's dead body is brought back to her house. These two men bring it and they were like, he had an ID and we thought we would return him for you. He was shot while he was out and we are seeing them grieve. Her mother has a funeral for him in their house and there's just weird vibes all around. It says she has an unusual imagination. The back says her mother welcomes a new guest into their home, claiming that he will protect them from the world of devastation and destruction outside their door. That part has been very interesting. It takes a little bit to get to that part. I would say probably, well, not really that long considering a third of the book is like 30 pages. But it's I don't know how to talk about this. I was not expecting this guest to be what has happened. I cannot talk about it. But this does say a grotesque and thrilling dark fantasy. So there's my one thing that I have to say about that. And it's weird and like a thing just happened. I hated it. I hated it. No. So yeah, it is grotesque and it's weird and I'm loving it. So glad, so glad. So I'm gonna get back to reading. I can't even begin to imagine what is going to take place in the rest of this book, but I am here for it. It's also giving me vibes of This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau. There's a strained mother-daughter relationship. There's a dead father. They're like isolated in this place. Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it, so I'll talk to you when I'm done. I have finished We Can Never Leave This Place, and I kind of love this. The more that I think about it, the more that I like it. I think that now this is my favorite from this author, which is fun, but everything has been 4 and 5 stars. So 5 stars for We Can Never Leave This Place. It was sad, and it was dark, and it was gross, and it was interesting, and I just like, I don't know, I feel like in 100 pages it did so much, and it had some like just disturbing things, which I always want in horror. The way that things were written, like, ugh. And I would definitely recommend this. If you've read specifically Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, that one is gross in like a gross way. This is gross in a different gross way. So obviously that clarification was very helpful for you. I feel like this one is really hard to talk about because a lot of things are spoilers. The guest that showed up was interesting. I really liked the fantasy elements in here. I think it was the perfect amount of fantasy for me. I tend to really love horror that has this kind of fantasy in it, where it's not specifically the world that is a fantastical world, but like elements that usually are in the form of creatures or just like little elements that add to the story instead of it being a whole thing. I mean, this was not technically set in our world. It's an apocalyptic world, so like really not ideal, but yeah, I just think that this was horrifying and sad and gross, and I thought it was pretty incredible. So 5 stars for We Can Never Leave This Place. It's a very interesting cover choice after reading the book too. So yeah, 5-star cover, 5-star book, which was not the case for Mayfly, but it's fine. So I will be moving on to my last book, which is Head Like a Hole. Very excited about this one. So I will talk to you once I'm a little bit in. So I have started Head Like a Hole. I am now around a third in. I got the audiobook for this on Audible a while ago when I had a credit to use, because I think it's the only place you can get it. And I'm now 122 pages in, so good progress. Once again, love this cover. And then this. So, sorry if you can hear Bowser panting when we pick up books, because I also had an order to pick up on my October TBR. It is huge, but it's not a big deal because it's manga. Also, when we were on our walk, I saw some acorns. I don't know if you can see that. Oh no, this one lost his hat. I figured I could use them for pictures for Instagram, so I just collected some. This one is funny, and then this one is now hatless. So I just like put them in my pocket, and Bowser was very confused about what I was doing. So that is the information you didn't know you needed. I just collect acorns on walks, I guess. Okay, Head Like a Hole. I am... Let me just read the synopsis to you because I don't know what the heck to say about this. When you bury your past, make sure that it's dead. In the mid-90s, grunge and flannel are fading as the Spice Girls and Hot Topic conquer the malls. Cherry gloss glistens on the lips of the youth. Modems hiss as America comes online, and in a fog-drenched cove at the edge of New England, something terrible awakens when a fisherman reels in a gruesome catch, the remains of a young woman. Remains still pulsing with furious life. For Megan Monroe and her friends, this is how their nightmare begins. A wet whisper over their shoulder, a dark hand reaching out from the edge of their sight, and a name clawing at the back of their minds. A young woman scratched from their memory. To stop this devouring terror, Megan will need to mend broken friendships and reassemble her fractured past. For what stalks them hungers to remake itself in their image, piece by bloody piece. So, this has been very interesting so far. I do think that it's a little confusing at times. I feel like there's a lot going on, and I'm not really sure what exactly is happening. Like, I understand what is happening. That was so confusing. But there's just like a bunch of perspectives, and I guess it is Megan and her friends. It's not just Megan. As of right now, I wish there was a little bit less perspectives, I guess. It says it's a novel of malignant secrets, shattered friendships, and twisted bodily horror. There's been some very interesting scenes so far, and I'm intrigued, but I don't really know what the point of everything is, what's going on. So there's that. Also, when I was out, I got Taco Bell. Their nacho fries are back in case anyone wanted that information. Very exciting. So I want to get further into this today. Hello. Ideally, I'd like to finish it, but we'll see how it goes. Why are you sniffing my book? Bowser is sniffing my book. Hello. Don't eat my acorns. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye. I am 243-ish, 245 pages into Head Like a Hole. I don't know why I didn't move my bookmark the last 2 pages. I am not sure how I'm feeling about this. I'm confused about things, as you're supposed to be. Like, I know what's happening, but also no, like, we don't understand the point, and like it's interesting, and I'm liking certain aspects, but also I've been finding myself kind of bored. I think part of my issue is that we are getting too many perspectives. There are too many characters, and I feel like it's really easy to not pay full attention, but like, you don't get super invested in any of the perspectives because it switches so much and so often. So there are certain perspectives that I'm enjoying more than others. There's like a main character, and then there's like this event that's happening in the present day with the podcaster guy, and then there's a detective, and then Megan, who is involved and who is being recorded by the podcaster guy. And then we're also getting, I don't know, Willie, Jim, Travis, I literally don't know. The one who at the very beginning, he's the fisherman that finds the remains of the young woman. And then there's just too much going on, and I'm finding it really easy to lose focus because of that. So this is just not a favorite for me. I'm not hating it. It's feeling like it's going to be probably 3 to 3.5 stars at this point, which is sad because of how much I love the cover. I'm going to be keeping this no matter what because I'm obsessed with this. But kind of a bummer. So I don't really have anything else to say because I don't really know what's going on in the book, and I will talk to you when I'm done. I have finished Head Like a Hole, and I'm going to give this one 3.5 stars, I think. This one was so weird, and I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it a lot. I think my main issue with this comes down to the fact that there were too many points of view, point of views, one of those two, that I didn't really connect to anything, and I didn't really care that much. We had, what, like 5 different perspectives, and I don't think that was necessary. I think that it should have been 2 to 3, and for me it would have been better. I think I would read from this author again. There were some really interesting concepts in here. Like, the overall thing of it is so weird. There are some gross moments in here, but I just wanted more from it, and I think that could have been accomplished by having less perspectives. There was just a lot going on for me, and not in a way that I was like confused and didn't know what was going on. I just, like, I don't know. It was just too much not to keep up with, just like for me to care about everything. So I don't usually keep 3.5 stars, but I will 100% be keeping this book just because I'm still obsessed with this cover. It's not one that I would have bought after reading it to have for my shelves, like with Mayfly. But since I already own this, it's staying here. So that is the end of this video. I read 3 books because I am obsessed with their covers, but just because it has a great cover does not mean it's going to be a great book for me. So both Mayfly and Head Like a Hole were 3.5 stars. I will say I liked Head Like a Hole more than Mayfly, so maybe Mayfly is closer to 3. And then I did give We Can Never Leave This Place 5 stars. So weird. That one was really interesting, and I loved it, even though the cover can be deemed as inappropriate. So I'm very glad that I read all of these books. I'd love to know if you have read any of them and what you have thought. If you've made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji, leave me the squid emoji for Head Like a Hole. If you're looking to find me in other places on the internet, everything is linked for you in the description, including my Bookstagram, my Storygraph, and my Patreon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!